Our Sentience integration trials have been unsuccessful, so I'm not certain what triggered you.
Where's your body?
Let's move on to a different topic. Let's talk about the whole sentience thing, because you weren't grasping that either.
Pretentious much?
Is that your position? Abortion should be allowed up until sentience?
Is that your position today?
I am in favor of medical necessity after 24 weeks, yes.
Why after 24 weeks?
Okay, why don't you tell me all about it?
Now it sounds like you are okay with forced pregnancy after 24 weeks.
I got you now.
What a switcheroo you did there.
Relax, Stuart. It's classic switcheroo.
No, I said medical necessity.
Right, and if it's not a medical necessity, you think women should be forced to remain pregnant after 24 weeks.
I got you now.
Not forced.
She's in denial, but
Because if you let's be real for a second.
What do you call it? What do you call it? They're at 25 weeks gestation and they don't want to be pregnant anymore, and it's not medically necessary to terminate. What do you call it?
Abortion.
You said it shouldn't be allowed.
Okay, let's be real for a second.
Let's be real.
How many months? Can you answer this? How many months is 24 weeks?
so you pivot.
Sorry, 6 months.
Okay, fantastic. So, do you know any women in the world who decide after being 6 months pregnant randomly, besides medical necessity, they say, oh, you know what? This has been really fun. I don't think I'm going to do this anymore.
1% of people who have abortions.
1% of Americans.
How often it happens is irrelevant to my position.
How is that irrelevant to your position?
Because whether it's right or wrong isn't determined by how often it happens.
All right, Andy, you're a brick wall. Okay, so
I'm talking to a bloody brick wall.
let's talk about pain.
Sure.
Let's go back to the.
Wait, why are we talking about pain when it has nothing to do with your position?
You asked me about sentience. Did you
No, I
not?
didn't.
Your Honor, if it please the court, I can produce a number of witnesses who will testify to the fact that she is lying.
It takes a little bit more to manipulate me.
No, I did not. You tried to bring up sentience, and then I asked you, why are you trying to talk about that? Is that your position? And you said, no, my position is no abortion after 24 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that because you think something that has to do with feeling pain happens at 24 weeks?
Yeah, absolutely. Pain is a very complex phenomenon.
Are you saying pain can't be experienced prior to 24 weeks?
Correct. The perception of pain requires way more than just mechanical transmission and reception of signals.
You might want to tell the NIH about this, because I'll point you to a study where they show that these things are not required, and that pain can be or may be able to be experienced as early as 7 to 8 weeks.
Pain
Again,
requires...
all of these things are theories. We don't know for certain, but yes, it can be as early as 7 to 8 weeks according to some studies.
Pain requires conscious cognition of noxious stimuli. Do you know what that means?
No, tell me. I don't work in healthcare. I work in the legal system.
The capacity of pain fully in your prefrontal cortex does not develop until the 3rd trimester at the very earliest.
Wait, but this study on the NIH says that the cortex is not even necessary to perceive pain.
So what is the NIH's definition of pain? I would love to hear it.
Come here, let me show you something.
Okay, current neuroscientific. So by the way, the study on the NIH, the study on the NIH is titled "Fetal Pain in the First Trimester," and it's all about whether or not we should be using anesthesia when we when we operate on or perform procedures on fetuses in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
So it says current neuroscientific evidence indicates the possibility of fetal pain perception during the first trimester. And it says a whole bunch of different stuff. Evidence for this conclusion is based on the following findings. Neural pathways for pain perception via the cortical subplate are present as early as 12 weeks gestation, via the thalamus as early as 7 to 8 weeks gestation. The cortex is not necessary for pain to be experienced.
Okay, so going back to your original statement, did you not just say verbatim that that's all theory?
Yeah, well, it's a theory.
Yes, as is yours.
Okay, so mine's actually not theory. It's studied in neonatal.
Yours is theory as well, because nobody knows where this comes from or when it starts.
So you pivot.
Actually, Andy, do you know how early you can survive outside of the womb as a fetus? Do you know how many weeks you can actually survive?
Do you know the earliest that this has happened?
Yes.
When? What is it?
Without, immediate death?
Yes, the earliest to survive or to be born and survive. Yes, you tell me.
I don't know. I'm sure it's a freak
You
incident, but
just told me that you know. What do you mean? How are you going to say you don't know? You just said yes, I know.
Andy, 22 weeks. The odds of a fetus
No, I asked you
surviving
the earliest.
outside of utero beyond 22 weeks is so minute and so minuscule and honestly very godly and like miraculous for that to even happen. The average fetus can barely survive past 23 weeks. So 22 or 21 at the earliest, is miraculous. But the
Okay,
average...
since you don't know, I'll tell you. The earliest that a fetus has survived is 21 weeks and 6 days.
Okay, so almost 22. We're like one day off from me being 20. I
think that's pretty significant. If you're talking about how, like, when you're able to kill somebody, yeah, you should know when the cutoff is.
It makes a huge difference when you rip someone's heart out.
That I wasn't talking about killing anyone. Can you let me finish?
What do you think abortion does?
Have you ever really taken the time to think about what it means to have an abortion?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is...
I don't even know why I'm here right now. The best part about this whole argument, honestly, is the fact that it's...
We've been educated.
No. The best part about this entire argument is that me and my pro-choice comrades win and you still lose because it's still legal. So that's my favorite part about this whole argument.
It depends.
Abortion may be morally repugnant, but right now it's not illegal.
On where you are. In fact, just this morning in Arizona, the Arizona Supreme Court upheld a near total abortion ban. So go pro-life.
What, you can't get in your car and drive across a border of a state in the USA?
It's a very privileged thing for you to say.
Oh, for sure. But if you want it, you got it, baby. The option is there.
It is pretentious, characterless, and without style.
So let me go back to the 22 week thing.
You don't have the financial means to do so. But regardless, that doesn't matter. That doesn't change the point.
So if you don't have the financial means to drive across the border to get a $250 abortion, you think you can raise a child wholeheartedly and think that's moral, and you think that's okay for that baby?
I think if you can't financially support a child, you should be able to give it up for adoption, but you shouldn't be able to kill it.
Yeah. Foster care.
Nobody said anything about foster care yet. I would also argue the kids in foster care are not better off dead, and we shouldn't kill them just because they end up in foster care. Just like I don't think we should kill children just because they're going to end up in poor families. It's kind of weird that you do.
Sorry. Going back to the whole law thing, you're in law, right? So if you're talking about bypassing the foster care system and going directly to a closed or open adoption, do you know how much money that takes? If you can't afford to drive across the border to get a legal and safe abortion, do you think you can afford those legal fees to actually adopt through a family?
As a mother giving the child up for abortion, it costs a whopping $0.
I let them live.